So Tuesday, the 6th of June, this is your Frontier opening bell, and we're getting the second trading day of the first full business and markets week in the new month up and running. The Nigerian stock market, after that roaring 5.5% rally last week, started the new week on a bit of a back footing, but that does not mean there was no strong appetite. We did a set of big numbers on Monday to start the new week. The market did roughly 20 billion naira in net transaction value. So we got big bargain hunting in FBN Holdings. Of course, that's Nigeria's oldest financial supermarket with the oldest bank, roughly 200 years old, reporting robust first quarter 2023 numbers. So the market price, FBN Holdings shares up. Gisco was priced down slightly. Zenith Bank fell as well, but Access Corp and a few others hurt the market a little bit. So we're just about 0.3% down because of declines that we saw in big names such as Grego Power and Zenith Bank. Take that to Cote d'Ivoire, where the current annual CEO Forum for 2023 is taking place. That will be wrapped up today. The two-day conference is wrapped up today. The Ivorian market was helped yesterday by some of the big names, including banking names such as Societe Generale, the BRVM better by 29 basis points. The Egyptian market down by 0.63% on Monday. Then you've got the Nairobi securities market up by roughly 1%, 106.09 on the all-share index. In sympathy with the rest of the emerging markets, downturn Monday, the South African stock market, the JSE, also took a beating of roughly 0.7%. The only stock market making very roaring gain was the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, up 8% yesterday. News coming through today, Tuesday, was that trading was stopped on the Harare Stock Exchange by 30 minutes because the index breached the 10% maximum daily limits today, and the authorities shut down the exchange trading engine for about 30 minutes to recalibrate and see whether the price gains will slow down a little bit. We've seen Zimbabwe stock market ramping up more than 100% rally since the year started. It's the strongest upside we've seen across the entire frontier Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa since 2023 started. The all-share index on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange is currently heading to 150,000 in index trading, and we just need to let you know what's going on there. We'll see what the numbers look like for today at the end of the trading day. Let's get on to East Africa and look at the big stories. Of course, we have the new Finance Act, all about that in Nairobi. President William Ruto, in terms of new taxes, what Kenyans will be paying moving forward, roughly 50 billion shillings that the government is owing petrol importers. Will William Ruto finally fully remove fuel subsidy in Kenya, just as Nigeria did a few days ago? That is the story on the streets right now of Nairobi and elsewhere across the country. In the meantime, the KCB Group, which is one of the biggest banking and financial services company, says it's investing $20 million additional fund in its Rwandan subsidiary. In the meantime, ABSA says he's pushing up his gold units at the Nairobi bourse because there is a strong demand for his exchange-traded fund. Mauritius on the Indian Ocean says he sees debt, the percentage ratio of his GDP down to about 60% before the end of the year 2030, while Tanzania is adopting a PPP, public-private partnership, for more infrastructure projects because President Suluhu's administration is finding out that funds are not always so much available. So it's got to ask the private sector to lend a helping hand to get Tanzania such much needed infrastructure. And Uganda government is paying 1.3 trillion shillings for undisbursed debt. How do you arrive at that? You're paying 1.3 trillion shillings for debt that is not yet disbursed. You're paying for what you're not taking. And that is something that President Museveni's administration will have to deal with. In the meantime, Uganda has moved its capital from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma. And the economics of that is still out there. What does it make economic sense? But it's been 50 years since Dodoma was named the capital of Tanzania by the iconic late first president, Julius Nyerere. Let's keep all of that in mind as we move on to West Africa. Nigeria's whole fuel crisis and the new subsidy removal is still out there. The news overnight was that the Labour has been able to reach a deal with the government on what the new minimum wage will be. So the strike action, which was due to start tomorrow, Wednesday, the 7th of June, has been called off. In the meantime, OPEC slashes Nigeria's production quota on Sunday by 20.7%. That takes Nigeria's production quota now to 1.323 million barrels per day. What that means for Nigeria's budget for this year, it's very shoestring, is going to be anyone's guess. Higher petrol prices, however, are pushed aside Tinubu's inauguration rally as we saw the market slow down a little bit, at least on the all-share index. Nigeria has the highest unpaid airline funds in the world. The headline figure is roughly $20 billion. Nigeria accounts for about $812.2 million of that. That's according to the industry association, IATA. And Gabon is inaugurating its first gold refinery, which is good news, while Cameroon says its budget has been readjusted by 382 billion CFA franc because of fuel subsidy. Let's take it all to South Africa, and the companies, the stores, supermarkets in South Africa are hurting badly. They're now paying about 3 billion rand to power diesel generators between October last year and the end of March this year. And that's the latest news coming through from South Africa. That is hurting these companies such as ShopRite, as well as other big names in South Africa. In the meantime, South Africa is going to announce a sizable petrol and diesel price cuts tomorrow, Wednesday. Keep an eye on what those figures will be like. But that could be some good news for the citizens down there in South Africa. The country, however, faces a risk of losing access to SWIFT in terms of global payment gateway because of the whole issue around the BRICS meeting later this year, which Russian President Vladimir Putin is expected to attend. The international warrant for his arrest is already issued by the ICC, with South African authorities in Pretoria trying to walk around it in order to allow Russia to attend. The latest talk was that perhaps the meeting could be moved to another location, but no longer holding in South Africa. We've got enough days and weeks ahead to see how all of that pays out. ABSA shareholders has approved 10 billion rand for an empowerment deal that this financial services company has announced, but it's got issues to deal with the Labour Department. But the announcement has been made, and the shareholders have asked the directors of the company to go ahead. In the meantime, Zimbabwe is banning the import of the Johnson & Johnson baby powder because there are allegations that the talc in that baby powder is toxic for children. That is one news that Johnson & Johnson is dealing with as far as the baby powder is concerned. But of course, Zimbabwe just slammed a ban on that. Let's take it all to North Africa this Tuesday, our second business and markets day. Google is looking to apply the new 14% VAT on services in Egypt, with effective from 1st of July, while Egypt is agreed with Samsung to boost cooperation and expand local manufacturing of parts of Samsung products in the North African country. And Libreville Group Morocco, first quarter 2023 consolidated turnover up by 26.3%. And finally, ExxonMobil and Chevron says they are now signing a deal to produce gas in Algeria. And those are your business and markets headline this Tuesday. Have a great day, everyone, and log on to www.frontafrica Reports to get more of our stories, the news we cover, as well as our shows is free. Follow us also on all our social media handles. Have a great day. Bye for now.